For more videos and problems for management information systems, you can check out Sarai Studies. Link is in the description box below. Welcome back. The question was to find how much a single product in each category on average costs. So in appliances, a single product on average costs $216.63. And we did this using a pivot table. Now in this video, we're going to do it from scratch with formulas. So I'm just going to create a new sheet and I'm going to label it formula version. And if I go here, my goal is to just simply replicate this using formula. So the first thing I would want to replicate is the categories. So I would go to formula version, have a category column. I would go to my data. So forget about this pivot version sheet. All you have is your data. I would go here and I would select starting from where the data actually starts. So from A2, so our category column is in column A, all the way to the end, which is 32. Copy that, go to formula. I'm just going to paste it here. And then I want unique categories. I'm going to select this and I'm going to go to data at the top, go to where tools are, and you'll see a remove duplicate button. Click OK. And now you'll have unique categories. And then I'm going to go and remove borders. So over here, no border. So we managed to replicate this column. Now, average unit price. So if we go back here, how do we calculate the average unit price? Well, you would think, oh, if Excel has a sum function, then obviously it's going to have an average function. But if you go ahead and take the average, it's just asking you for a list of numbers. So you can go and take the average of your unit prices because that's what you want the average of, but that's just going to take the average of this entire thing. But specifically, we want the average only if the category is health, right, in this cell. So, and I'm going to use plural average if. You can use average ifs, the plural version, anytime, but you can only use average if, the singular version, if you only have one criteria you want to filter by. So in this case, we can use average if, but the idea is if you have multiple criteria. So let's say you want to find the average of the unit price if the category is health, and if the salesperson was Ava, then you would have to use average ifs because you have multiple criteria to filter by. So in this case, it doesn't matter which one you choose. It works because you only have one criteria to filter by, but I always use the plural version because it works with everything. So the first thing you want to put is what you want to find the average of. You want to find the average of the unit prices. So you go to your data and select your unit price column, but once the data starts, so that does not include the header. So then you go all the way down and then you go back to your formula version and you'll see, okay, it's going to get column D, which is where our unit price column was, but from the formula version sheet. Formula version sheet is the sheet that we're in right now. There's literally nothing in column D in this sheet. We want column from our data sheet. So we're going to change this to just data, and we can remove the quotations because quotations are only for sheet names that have spaces in between. Formula version had a in between, data does not. So it's saying, hey, go to the data sheet and get me column D. But right now, all you've given the function is just the unit price. What is it going to do with that? You have to give it the other column as well. This is not just a unit price problem, it's a unit price and category problem. So you want to give it the category column. So you want to go to data, select your categories, starting at A2, so where your data actually starts, and then where it ends, so you drag it all the way down. You go back to formula version and saying, hey, I want column A from the formula version sheet. No, we want it from the data sheet. So you want to delete the quotation marks because, again, it's one word, the name of the sheets. And so think about it now. You've given it the unit price column. You've given it the category column. And you're saying, hey, I want you to go through all of the categories and find the average unit price for specifically what category. That's where the third thing comes in, and that's the health category. And here's the rule. If you just leave it like this, it's going to give you an error. When you are referencing a cell in your own sheet, you don't need to say the sheet that you're in. Excel knows that you're in that same sheet. Then put in your parenthesis and click enter, and then now you have the average unit price of one product in the health category. And if we want to go and check our answers, if we look at health, we see 339.85. We see the exact same thing here, so we're correct. So we want to extend that all the way down. Let me remove the fill. And so we managed to replicate these two columns. The only thing we're missing is the grand total. So if we go back to the formula version, we say grand total. What we're really doing is finding the total average of these averages. So if you look back over here, this is not the sum of these averages. This is the average of these averages. So really, we're going to go here, go to formulas, and instead of auto sum, we're doing auto average. And then click enter, and then let's check if we're right. Here we have 210. If we go back over here, we have 224. that's interesting, it's not the same. And the reason it's not the same, and it's perfectly fine that it's not the same, is because you literally calculated the average differently. We use two different methods to calculate the average. Here we use pivot table, which calculates the average in this different way. And here we did it manually, where we calculated the average of the unit prices for this category first, then this category, then this category, and then at the end, we divided by the number of categories that there were, and then we got that. But that's fine. So we managed to literally recreate this using formulas, and the last thing is make it a nice table. So select it, format as table, it's orange, click OK. And you also want to make all of these actual currency. So right click, format cells, currency, 2 decimal places, click OK. And now they're all dollars. And then let's check that everything works. So we can select this little arrow in the category and filter by, let's say, electronics. And you'll see that the grand total is not updating. It's supposed to be 64.20. All you have to do is refresh. So formulas and then average again, and then it should work every time that you filter by something else. So let's say furniture, click OK, and now everything should work. If it doesn't work, that's because you didn't remove the name of your sheet over here in this cell. So make sure you only have the cell there. And that's it for this video. We managed to replicate the exact same table with formulas from scratch. I'll see you in the next